Got it. Well, thank you, Perry. So, thank you for allowing me into, I was going to say your living room on the beach, which looks amazing and is way nicer than my living room right now. So, Perry, thank you. I was very privileged to be a guest on one of your podcasts. I'm Helen from Secure Vision Mobile Optical, and I also run Secure Vision Mobile Optical Academy for aspiring mobile opticians. Perry, I am very impressed with you. I have to tell you, you are an optical entrepreneur and people see you all over LinkedIn. You are very philanthropic. You give so much information away. It's unbelievable. So much advice. So you obviously have this incredible passion to help people. And I'd like to ask you a few questions about this because it's very unique and is very engaging. Your calendar's called I Help You. I just love that. So, why do you do it?
So I have a fascination with documenting my knowledge. And I don't do it because I plan to go back to page 347 of my journal to find something. I think it's just helpful that there's a lot of proprietary knowledge each and every doctor or optician has. And I think we call this, there's another word for it. I'll have to edit this part out. Uh, Tribal knowledge. Tribal knowledge. We're a profession of tribal knowledge. So if you were an engineer, there's less tribal knowledge in engineering because it's math, it's formulas, there's a science to it. And in this industry, where do you buy a product? What software do you use? How do you deal with this customer service situation? And that stuff is passed down from generation to generation to generation. Just like a cobbler would do, or a chef, anything like that. And luckily, I was fortunate enough to grow up with a father who's an optometrist, and so he taught me a lot of this tribal knowledge. And I worked with some more old school opticians, and I learned from them as well. And I find it just powerful to share my little secrets because other people will share it, and it's just like this trickle down effect.
I love that. And, I have to share that I first caught sight of you, I want to say 3 years ago. And you were putting out just really, really good, solid advice about frame management, about board management. And I was in the process of enhancing my mobile optical business. And you showed me some very clear pathways to recoup on what I thought were losses. Right. So that kind of free education is incredible. It's incredible. And all eye care entrepreneurs should be looking and seeking opportunities to acquire that.
Yeah.
Now,
And I,
again,
I want to add to
yeah.
that. So I really believe in informal mentorship. So when you think of mentorship, you think, oh, it could be a 6 week course where you go get your CNA certification, or it could be an associate's program, or a undergraduate program for education. And of course, I went through formal college education at the University of Kansas. I didn't really like school, honestly. I thought it was super boring, even though I was an AB student. And really where I feel like I got my best education was in the trenches, working, of course. But it was also, as silly as it sounds, I was at the gym, lifting weights on the treadmill, and I would listen to podcasts. And one of them was this guy named Mike Dillard. And he was talking about marketing and all this stuff. And I just found it so fascinating. And I didn't think I had an interest in marketing. And then another one is, a lot of people know this name, is Gary Vaynerchuk. And he was just so inspirational and down to earth. And he just shared his philosophies on life, and kind of with a, F it personality, just do it, Nike style. And so everyone needs a mentor, whether it's a father, whether it's a mom or a friend, and you have to listen to hundreds of hours of that person to fully grasp what they're trying to get you to do, I think.
Hmm. That's interesting. So that kind of brings me to the next question, but I think you've answered it. I believe in trust. Trust drives me, Perry, right? It drives me to engage people. I want their trust because I know I can help them. I know. What drives you?
So what drives me? Success is one for the feeling of accomplishment. Um, I would say growing up with a more affluent family, you feel there's sometimes you feel like there's this pressure on you, this obligation. You got to do something successful, and it's not really like my parents would. They don't expect that of me. They want that, of course, as a good family. The ability to do what I want when I want to do it without caring how much it costs or when I'm going to get there. That is the biggest thing in my life. And so, I'll share a short anecdote. I was working at my dad's practice for 8 years. I was so bored. I
Okay.
remember, almost breaking down in tears. Probably was a few tears. Around year 6, I was like, Dad, I'm bored. I just don't even know what to do anymore. I've mastered everything in this practice. The medical billing, the optical part, the managing staff. And I didn't want to open 10 other offices or do anything profound like that. That just didn't suit me to be in that retail environment anymore. It was a medical environment too. So year 7 came by. I still don't know what I want to do. Year 8 came by. I don't know what I want to do. So you're waiting for this idea of what you want to do in life. And my way to solve it was I would just go on these sporadic travel trips by myself. So I drove from the middle of the United States, Kansas. I drove all the way to New York and then up to Ontario, um, St. John, Cape Breton, all over Canada by myself, 2 weeks, and I just was alone. And it felt awesome that I could do that by myself. And then fast forward another year goes by. I hopped in my car, I drove to Vermont, and I found a place to live. And it seemed like a rash decision at that point. I have no family, but that spontaneous actions is what drives me to just want to live a different lifestyle than what I'm used to. So.
I love that. And it sounds like you've been practicing uh, conserving time for a number of years now. I view time as a commodity, Perry. I absolutely do. Tell me a bit more about how important time is to you now.
So I value rest and I also value work. I love working. Actually, I get energized by it. So sometimes on Sunday, I'm sitting around and I'm just like bored. And I could go out and pursue my hobby, but I'm just like bored. And I think it's because I've gotten a lot of time back in my life by running my own, business within the optical and eye care industry. And so it's like I need to fill that time with something else, whether it's more work or, social interactions. And so I value sleep. So this sounds crazy, but I take a nap almost every single day. And that is so important to me. My body was wired to get tired around 2 or 3. It just was. I don't have those genes to be a energizer bunny all day long, nor do I want to caffeinate. I drink 2 cups of coffee a day. I don't like any more than that. So I don't like to caffeinate myself to death. And that's like a relaxing thing for me. I feel like a lot of us are anxiety prone, and it's because we don't, it's health, it is rest, and it's exercise. And those are 3 things I was really missing when I was grinding away, on the 8 to 6 routine.
Mm. Absolutely. I've resented the wasteful amount, the waste of time that I've been very guilty of engineering throughout my life. And I love my state of play now, where it is a luxury to be bored, Perry, isn't it? It's an absolute luxury. So I get that. I truly do. And I relish the fact that you provide people with opportunities to find out how they can get their time back. So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about that. Tell me about the solutions that you do actually provide within our incredible optical industry.
So I'll share kind of my journey from 3 years ago. So I started off, my dad sold to private equity. He was a private practice owner, 40 plus years, and then he sold to private equity to hang up his phoropter and move on. So I had to find my own journey. And I knew, I like eye care. I didn't want to get into another field. This is what I know. And so I went down the consulting route. I didn't like it. I did not like consulting other people how to run their very complex business. Owning an optometry practice is very complex, too many moving parts. And so what I figured out what I do is I like automation and I like efficiency and I like software. I think if you can, and those things help you actually simplify your life. The mobile device has helped simplification. For instance, I was just applying for a passport this weekend, and I go to the government website, and they want me to print off the paper, and then I had to get here's my new passport photo. You can't really see
Right
it.
on.
There it is. So I had to go to the pharmacy, and they make you get your photo, and then I have to staple it, and it was like very convoluted and complex, and I don't like any of that stuff. Anything that's manual. And now I had to go to the post office website, print it off. And so what I can provide, to opticians and eye doctors is a simplification of their standard operating procedures with existing tools that are out there. And one of them that I've been working on closely with some colleagues is called LensSync. And it's basically a POS system that is very visual based, where we set up your inventory. Everything is single click, so you're not double clicking in different websites to order your products. There's barcode scanners to do inventory. You have visuals of all your metrics for your business, your schedule, or diary, as the Brits call it. And that's what I love. So
That's amazing. And the whole lens thing, this was not planned, Perry, but I have to share. Craig Chasnoff of LensSync was so kind and so giving, and decided to set himself up with quite the challenge to provide me with glasses remotely from Canada, right? And he did me two pairs. I'm a very high myope. Oh, actually, have a guess. What do you think I am? These are the glasses
oh
he made me.
yeah, I'm looking. I think you're a 650.
Wow. So he made me in polycarbonate, which I have never worn, -8.5,
Okay. You beat
right?
me. I'm a 6 and a 7, so
I'm just so impressed with Craig's technology. I got to tell you. So he made me these, and he made me these incredible prescription sunglasses. I have never been able to wear a frame that size in my prescription. Come on. So yeah, LensSync gets my vote. Got to tell you, that's
yeah.
pretty
So
cool.
when I look at your any type of optical business or business in general, your software is the heart of your whole life, and it keeps you organized. Everything from so if you want to get out and break free from your optical career, you have to realize that you're going to have to invest in some type of infrastructure, and it's actually really simple. You get a CPA. You get a software to handle all your bookkeeping, payment processing, that you can spit out, tax reports when you need it. And then you probably need a lawyer, and lawyers don't have to be that expensive because it's not like you're getting sued every day. You're just setting up your LLC or whatever your corporation is. And you're kind of off to the races. And you can be mobile. You get your alerts on your phone. You could be in Zimbabwe and be like, great, someone wants to schedule an appointment. This is awesome.
So tell me a little bit about that, the digital scheduling. How can people get hold of you?
They can go to the easiest way is Perry at ihelpyou.co. Very cheesy.
Okay.
But I offer mentorship, and the type of person I like to work with they've went through a lot of solutions out in the market, and they haven't found what they need because they may need something custom developed for their own needs.
Mhm.
And just like if you were to get a kitchen, you can go to IKEA. Do you have IKEA in Canada?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
love IKEA.
who doesn't like IKEA? And they have beautiful kitchens that are all prefabricated. I'm sure there's a little customization, but occasionally it doesn't work for you. And that's why you need something custom built. And when people think of, oh, I need something custom, it's going to cost me a fortune. It's like, no, you're going to pay a little now to have excellent, results later on.
Absolutely. So, as you know, I run a program for aspiring mobile optical um, entrepreneurs, both in the US and across Canada now. And I got quite a tough question for you, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Why should any of my students connect with you or contact with you? What would they get from that, Perry?
I would say what they're going to get from me is a contrarian opinion. And, I might make them cry inside a little, a good cry, an inspirational cry to challenge the status quo of
Okay.
how much money they need to do this, the hours input. And also, what I would, offer to them is how to be a brand, how to produce media. So
Mm,
at what I do on a daily basis, this sounds crazy, but this morning, for instance, I have spent about 2 hours producing some video content and audio content, some for social media, some for YouTube, some for podcast. And that's part of my workday. And while it feels like play, it's truly work. And that's a skill set that I'd be willing to share with people, these tools to make video content creation really easy, whether it's for TikTok, Instagram, whatever, just to share who you are, and what you do with the world.
it's so important because you've got to get that targeted message across to that perfect client, and it has to be full of whatever drives you as your brand. So for me, it's trust. My media productions have to convey trust. So how easy would it be? I've thrown another question in, Perry. How easy would it be for you to teach a 50-year-old lady who's only ever used Facebook to get some really, really, really incredible marketing material out there to deliver clients into that business?
Super easy. So it's like they're already texting and videoing and FaceTiming
Right.
all their friends and family. You basically stick your camera up to your face and you hit record. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't need to do any fancy animations or anything. If you were to go into Instagram or TikTok, they have a transcription tool where it transcribes all your words. So it's not like you're typing that stuff off manually. And authenticity sells. Be you. And the last thing I'll say is when someone says, why would anybody follow my channel? Or it's like, because you're interesting, you fit a target market, and not everybody wants to watch a teeny bopper, dance or whatever.
Mhm.
I was on a social channel last night. It was called, oh my gosh, what was it called? It was a social channel for kids who grew up without dads.
Okay.
And this guy's whole channel teaches you how to do um, things that a dad would teach you. So one of them was he was sewing on, or it could be a mom. He was teaching you how to sew a button. Uh, the door was squeaky, so when you open the door, it's squeaking. And he shows you to take the pin out, how to grease the hinge, and it's like I even learned something there.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And think about the internet and how it provides these opportunities for us to learn while we're doing other things. You can actually have that podcast on. You can have that video up there while you're putting your kids to bed. You can take advantage of that education, can't you?
Yeah, and you can make it a kind of a family affair. You can put your kids in the video. It doesn't have to take away from all your family life. And I do want people to know that a lot of social media has a lot of what I call vanity metrics, and this is what a lot of people call it. It doesn't matter if you get 347 views or 80,000 views. Just be happy that you're doing something and you're trying.
Mm,
Um, the goal is not to be a super celebrity here. It's just to reach your right target market. And if you have 3,000 people that love you and follow your content and engage and comment, that's what it takes. And you have to share the love online. When someone comments, you have to comment back. And don't just give them a
mm,
thumbs up. Give them something real.
mm. That goes a long way with clients for mobile opticians to actually say thank you when they've demonstrated appreciation. I will capture that as some marketing of some kind. But I always, always want it to convey how grateful I am to my clients for even bothering to say thank you.
Yeah, and how do you say thank you? What are some of your clever ways in the past?
What are my clever ways of saying thank you? Oh gosh, for a client, I will, as a mobile optician, maybe they'll get, where are they? Here they are. They get a special FTG.
Oh my
Have
God,
you
I was just
seen
talking
these,
about the
Perry?
FTGs earlier.
So this is a great way for me to say thank you to clients, and it actually maintains my profit margin. I don't have to give them 20% off the next pair, or, we're all trying to earn money here. But look at these. Okay, quick sell for Susie.
Yeah,
These are amazing.
they
These
are.
hold all your frames. They're beautiful. They roll up. They go on holiday. They, like me, I've got, 15 pairs of glasses, so I have them all secure. That's a great gift for somebody that buys glasses from me. That's my way of saying thank you. And
I
I
love it.
love that, you
And
know?
there was a Facebook post today, and someone was they wanted help redesigning their bag that they give out when they dispense glasses.
Mm.
So I said, why are you giving your customers bags, your patients bags? I said that bag goes right in the recycling bin, you know? And she goes, well, we sell a lot of multiple pairs of glasses. I said, okay, sure, but still, the bag goes right into the trash. And I actually took a screenshot of the FTG and said, if someone orders 2 or 3 pairs, this is your
Yeah,
gift with purchase.
absolutely. I love that, Perry. And you know, all these incredible entrepreneurs that create these opportunities for giving back, and Susie's one of them, we're all on the same mission. We're just there to help people be as successful as they can be, aren't we?
Yeah,
So I do have one thing I do want to ask you. On your own journey to becoming the successful entrepreneur that you are, how did you conquer your own self-limiting beliefs? What did you do?
I I spent a lot of money, and have made many painful mistakes, uh, both with my bank account, credit cards, and I just pissed away $3,000 last month. It all went down the drain. I'm not going to get it back, and I've
Okay.
accepted that I can't be upset at myself because it was a good try. And you have to be willing to tolerate some risk, and especially if you're young. I'm 31. I could make mistakes for the next 10 years and I'll still be okay. uh, of course, when you start passing, 45, 50, you start have to being a little more cautious with your money, because there's less time to compound it, and have income earning potential. So, I don't consider myself successful. I don't like to think in those terms. I like to think of like these small sprints and wins.
Mm,
I think the best thing that's maybe the most successful is being well rounded, and content creation, digging into editing, and then I've digged into software development. And I would just get on like Upwork.com or Fiverr to find people who can do things.
mm.
If it's going to take me 50 hours to do something, but I can find someone to do it for 5 hours, well, I'm going to get that person to do it who can do it in 5 hours. And that goes back into getting time back in my life. And so, yeah, just if I see something, I'm just going to go after it. I'm going to throw the dollars at it and uh,
Have a go.
calculate a guess.
Delegation is a wonderful thing, and so is calculated risk, right? Where you actually know what you're in for and you're prepared. You can actually really start to conquer that self-limiting thought that you're going to fail, because it actually doesn't matter. You are going to learn from that experience and only strive harder to succeed, aren't you, the next time around? You must do that all the time then.
Right. And I think what makes you strive harder is if you're going to go for mobile optical,
Mm,
I think set your prices fairly at the beginning. at an entry point where maybe you're going to make just a little. You'll definitely break even, but you're not going for the high profit because you just need to work out all your bugs and the follow-up email that you're going to send and make sure you can actually get those frames back from the lab and get the logistics correct. So that's step one. And then you kind of have to slowly raise your prices over time. Everything that I've done, I've slowly raised my prices where, now I would say I'm at a uh, kind of a premium price point for all the services I offer because I really feel like I offer something that is one, a niche of a niche of a niche. And that's kind of what a mobile optical is. It's a niche of a niche of a niche. So.
Absolutely. And it is an evolution. You're absolutely right. I'm constantly striving to perfect and engage and improve even now, even though I do like that term, even though I do have a successful mobile optical business, it can always improve and it can improve in the client's interest, right? So one last thing, Perry, from my part anyway, do you have a favorite quotation or a person that completely blows you away?
A favorite quotation.
Or a
You know,
person or something
yeah,
like an
uh,
icon.
yeah. I'm gonna read a poem. How's that sound?
I would love that.
I've got a short
Yes.
poem. I don't haven't memorized it by heart, but it's called "The Piece of Wild Things." Uh, Here it is. Yes, there it is. It's very short. I think I Googled this like 20 years ago, and it's always just stuck with me. So I'll read it here. But his name is Wendell Berry, and it's called "The Piece of Wild Things." When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests and his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars, waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free. So to me, I'll summarize that as just getting time, peace, and tranquility back. And you can do it. You just have to transition from your current habits to something new, over a long time, which I know you teach how to do.
Perry, I love that. You just made my day. And of course, I'm going to Google that and I'm going to put it on everything associated with you. I am going to share your incredible knowledge and information in the program. So thank you for that permission and thank you for this. And I can't wait to get my next little snippet from you that I know will help me be more profitable and more sustainable. So thank you.
You're welcome. So